who do y'all believe, Jefri or Blake? Okay. Some people believe Jefri. Some people think both of them full of it. Okay, I think both of them got an issue, first of all. Both of them weird. Both of them communicate very weirdly. Beautiful people, though. Don't get me wrong. I believe Blake was giving Jefri all that energy, telling her exactly what she said. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brenda Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brenda Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. Y'all know it's Friday night, so we are talking Owns Ready to Love. We still down to the Miami streets. This is season 7, episode 5, The Math Ain't Mathin, and it's really not this season. Before we get into anything, y'all, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you to all those who continue to hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up button. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of this episode. Let me know who y'all think more full of shit. Is it Jefri? Is it Blake? Is it both of them? Anyway, y'all, also share the video if you enjoyed the content. I'm going to try to give y'all as much energy as I can on this video. I apologize, my lashes is messed up. I've been crying, y'all. It's been a rough week. As y'all know, some of y'all may know who follow me, I am an educator. I teach special needs students, severely handicapped students, and I lost a student this week very, very unexpectedly. So it's been really heavy, especially coming back from my vacation as well. And also, I'm about to lose another one who's been sick and on her way out. So it's just been heavy, y'all. So please pray for me and my classroom, the students, and the families as well. It's never easy. This is the first time I've lost a student, so I've never even been in this situation before as a teacher. So it's definitely been rough. So pray for me, y'all, but I wanted to get this video done, and I didn't want to get behind since I've already been having to play catch up since being gone last week. I'm just starting out right here with Ready to Love. I'm not going to go over episodes 3 and 4. Y'all got all those great other reviewers out there to watch. I did watch the episodes, and I'm all caught up, so maybe I'll touch on them a little bit, but mostly we're going to focus on episode 5. So the episode picks up where it left off. On the party boat, right? And they were deciding, I don't know why they had 3 ladies up for elimination. That was kind of weird to me. So they had Covea and I want to say Jefri, and I cannot remember the other young lady who was up for elimination now, and it don't even really matter. Maybe it was Marcia. Anyway. I don't know, something about Marcia is not fitting well with this show for me. I don't know, something about this whole cast of this season is off. Is it just me? Let me know if y'all agree in the comments. And I'm not really seeing it for the men. Maybe Mark Anthony will work out, but I liked me some Demario, but he done messed that up. So then we're gonna get into it. So, you know, the fellows was fussing and arguing last week about if they was gonna use the wild card. The lifeline, but they didn't use it. It wasn't unanimous. Covea got sent home. She just sit there smiling the whole time. I'm like, girl, you going home, girl. So Covea got sent home as she should have been. Demario was fighting for her because he said that was his top connection, his only connection, because, you know, he wasn't fooling with Jefri no more after she kissed Mark Anthony last week. My thing is, I didn't really see much of a connection brewing between Covea and Demario until they were on that boat last week. So I don't know. Came out of nowhere to me. But anyway, because I feel like Demario gravitated towards Covea after Jefri kissed Mark Anthony anyway. So everybody playing at this point. So anyway, after that elimination, nephew Tommy says, you know, it's not over. He got another little nightcap for him down at the Hard Rock Cafe. I didn't go there while I was in Miami last week, but it's fine. Anyway, it just gave me another reason to go back. So everybody's talking, and I think at the table was like Marcia, Sue Ann, Mark Anthony, and I want to say maybe Cynthia or somebody else was sitting there. And so Mark Anthony was talking to Sue Ann about how Sue Ann said that she considers herself like a mix of Rihanna and Claire Huxtable all in one. And he's like, yeah, that's dope. I like how you told me that. And Marcia's like, oh yeah, that's cool. And Marcia said, yeah, she definitely is like a Rihanna and a Beyonce. And I was like, okay, Marcia's giving herself a little bit much, but okay, girl. And she said, would she be working out? And she be like, okay, Beyonce would do another 30 minutes on the treadmill. Like she said, she's just so inspired by Beyonce. And I was like, oh, girl, please stop talking about Beyonce. You're grown in your 30s. Like, I get it. I love me some Beyonce, too. Love me some Rihanna. Like, sometimes when I used to work out, I used to be like, oh, let me be trying to hit it like Beyonce. I don't really do that now. I try to hit it like Brandy, okay? But, you know, we are all influenced by our people. It was just a bit much for me. Anyway, Cynthia was talking to the fellas about the elimination and all that stuff, too. Then, you know, eventually, I think Morgan came over there and was like, y'all, we got to go dance down to the Hard Rock. Let's get it popping. We at the Hard Rock Cafe on the bay there to get it popping. Dang, I wish I would have went there. Because y'all know I love me some Hard Rock Cafe because, you know, I like to gamble a little bit. So, anywho, then let's see, the next day or whenever, we see everybody going on dates. So, I think at this point is when we saw Jefri and Demario go on this date. So this is when things took a little turn, y'all. So Demario and Jefri went down to the coffee shop because Jefri said she felt like things with Demario were a little weird. He didn't want to talk about it down to the boat, but he said he would talk about it with her in person. So, you know, talking about how the thing when he was like, it was real interesting. And she was like, oh, I feel, you know, I was still, you know, checking on you and everything. And basically, Demario didn't like the fact that Jefri kissed Mark Anthony. And so he was like, you know, you kissed him and all this stuff. She's like, oh, it was just a game. And he was like, but you didn't have to do it. You could have made a different choice. You could not did it. She's like, it's just a game. Like, wasn't that deep. He was just not letting it go. It just made him feel some type of way. He started seeing her different after that. He wasn't looking at her the same. And she was like, okay, but you wasn't applying the pressure. You wasn't really giving me the vibes and the energy at the party. She's like, look, I just went on a date with Mark Anthony. You know, he was applying the pressure. So that's what it is. And so Demario is very much giving Tori in Potomac, okay? when they remember they played that little messy game down at Potomac and that tore everything up, that's what it was giving. But that's the point of the messy game every season. So nonetheless, Demario wasn't feeling it. Then, you know, Jeffri's trying to sit there and explain herself and she gets frustrated. I don't blame her. Like, she shouldn't even have to explain herself, okay? And so then he said, you know, what would your kids think of you doing that? Kissing somebody like that on the TV, you don't really know that man. And I'm like, well, she know him just as much as she know you. Like, huh? Like, Demario, Mark Anthony, a day late to the process? What, like, huh? Anyway, and I like Demario, so I don't know why he was doing all that. Like, I really don't. And so then she was like, you know, I think my kids would be, you know, okay with it. She was like, what the heck? And she was like, it's very much giving Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. It was a little bit. And so they just kind of were not seeing eye to eye. And he said he definitely felt like he had to move differently. Then in the confessional, y'all, he gonna say he dodged a bullet for 3 reasons. Number 1, he's never seen her with no makeup on, so he don't know how she looking underneath it all. Secondly, you know, he noticed some other little red flags by her, like she don't take criticism well. And then thirdly, she just met that man, so he not understanding why she kissing him. So, Demario, you're doing the most. It's giving a little bit insecure. No. And your connection with Covea was not that deep. I didn't see it. Unless there's something going on off camera, I didn't see it. Did y'all see it? Because I didn't see it. So, anyway, Jefri is like, that's definitely a red flag for her. That's a cancellation. She ain't fooling with him no more. Then we get down to a group date that was so unnecessary between Marcia, Blake, and Blue, and Jefri. Because Marcia wants to spend more time with Blue, aka get the tea on what's going on with Jefri and Blake and make sure they're good. I don't know why we gotta do all that, but let's do it. So, they go down to this like yoga place where they do the little vibrations in the bowl and the chakras and the energies. Y'all know I don't fool with none of that kind of stuff. So I wasn't here for it, but I mean, looked like they got to relax. Everybody closed their eyes and was relaxing and snoring, except for Blake. He had his eyes wide open like this, laying down. he said that lady playing with them bowls was too loud for him, and it was disturbing his peace, so he couldn't really get into it. He said maybe because I was too close to the lady. I don't know. You know what? It just wasn't for Blake. It's fine. So then afterwards, she told him to do a little arts and craft, make a collage. I do that with my girls and girls club. We do that. So anyway, they had to make a collage about, you know, cut out stuff out the magazines. Y'all know how it's done. So anyway, Marcia brought up the tension. Blake was like, you know, I respectfully decide, like, not to really talk about that, not really go up into that. Oh, let me backtrack real quick. When they were still down to the boat, Sue-Ann was at the table, you know, and then Blake pulled her aside and it kind of touched on the Jefri thing, and he said, you know, I appreciate you having my back and all this stuff. And she was like, oh, you know, you could treat a person so nice and they can take it the wrong way. And he was like, you know, if I get eliminated, you gonna, you know, leave with me? No, she ain't leaving with you. So Sue-Ann is still, you know, she still didn't drink the Blake Kool-Aid, which is fine. Let her drink it. So anyway, back to the group date, right? Jefri, she was like, well, I didn't really have a problem. It was Blake's problem, so I don't know. He said he didn't want to talk about it. Like, she good. So it was just really, really awkward. And so Marcia was like, well, do you guys feel like you cleared it up? And Jefri was like, well, there was nothing to clear up. Like, he's the one who had the issue. He didn't really explain it. And now I agree with Jefri. Like, I was real irritated when I was catching up on the episodes and Blake addressed Jefri about what she said, and he would never tell her what she said. And then he wanted her to try to say what she said. And she was like, well, I don't know what you addressing me for. Like, I'm like, say what she said so she could deny it or say, you know, whatever. But like, don't play games. Like, I'm irritated with both of them. Both of them weird to me. And I believe, you know, I posed a question on Twitter. Follow me at Brandy Yvonne. Who do y'all believe, Jefri or Blake? Okay. Some people believe Jefri. Some people think both of them full of it. Okay, I think both of them got an issue, first of all. Both of them weird. Both of them communicate very weirdly. Beautiful people, though. Don't get me wrong. I believe Blake was giving Jefri all that energy, telling her exactly what she said. I think Jefri exaggerates a little bit because at that little group date, she was exaggerating about Blue. So I think she might have put 20 on 10 a little bit when she was talking about it in the deliberations, okay? But I do believe Blake was giving her all that what she said he was giving. I believe he said all that. So I think they both full of it and they both need to go. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Who you know, do you believe Jefri, believe Blake? You think they both full of it? So anyway, they squashed it. You know, Marcia was like, well, I'm just glad y'all squashed it. Like, we moving on. So then they had to share their collages with their teacher. And, you know, Blake's had a lot of watches and luxury things on his. I don't really remember what Marcia had going on. Blue was talking about his traveling and his fishing and everything. I don't really remember what Jefri had going on either. But I do remember how Jefri gonna call Blake out on his. She was like, also, I noticed yours just has a lot of like luxury things and things like that, and there's nothing about like love and family and all that. And he was like, well, no, it's mostly centered around time, and you need time to attain all these things. Like, he was going through a theme. He was putting a bunch of clocks and watches and stuff. And so she was just like, like just turning her nose about it. Like, girl, let him have his art. Let him have his art. Lord have mercy. So anyway, then Jefri was like, oh, I really liked Blake's. In her confessional, talking about she really liked Blake's, and she could really feel a connection with him based on his collage. And then that's when I was like, girl, you doing the most. But then Blue, she liked Blue's collage, not Blake's. And then Blue in the confessional was like, oh, some energy about Jefri that I really like and I vibe. I'm like, ooh, y'all is doing the most. So anyway, we gonna see though. Then, you know, Marcia said she's still feeling Blue as well, and she liked his collage. She did a 3D or something. Let's see. Then we see a date between Cynthia and Anthony. Some of these people on the show I keep forgetting about. Like, I forgot about Morgan when we didn't see a lot of her. I forgot about Anthony. Like, I don't know. It's weird. And so Anthony, I'm on the fence with him. I don't know. There's something about him. I don't know, y'all. But anyway, he was looking good down to the date. I don't know if it's the beard or I don't know. But Cynthia was like, he looked good. He looked good coming around that corner. I said, okay, girl. Cynthia said, bye, Andre, because y'all know Andre got eliminated with his bun. I was like, thank God, but I pray he feels better. I don't want to be sick or nothing. So anyway, so I did like Cynthia and Anthony's vibe on the date, and he was asking her about her siblings, and she said she's really close to one of her sisters in Ohio, and the sister just got married. Then she said that she caught the bouquet at the sister's wedding. And he was like, oh, so do you see marriage in your future? She's like, yeah, I hope so. That's the plan. And he said, do you see anybody here? She's like, that's her hope. And so they were really vibing. They're both Haitian descent. And they were talking about having kids and all this stuff. So they really seemed to hit it off. I like Cynthia and Anthony. I do. Anthony seems way more genuine than Andre. So go in that direction, Cynthia. Yeah, leave Andre alone, girl. So let's see. Then we saw 2 more dates, I believe. We saw a date between Mr. Tony and Morgan. And so Morgan was looking cute. I like Morgan. Morgan's my girl. And so, Morgan, she been bothered because Tony been giving his energy to all the ladies. I don't trust Tony, Morgan. Like, girl, I don't trust him. Girl. He using all that prayer in the Bible to get you, girl. No. No, you don't trust men like that. So I don't think her man on the show, like I said on Twitter. But anyway, he came and so they were talking about, how their days was. Oh, my day was busy, it was long, blah, blah, blah. So, he was asking her about the process, and she was saying, it's a really not a good looking man here. It's really a lot of good looking men, a lot of quality men. She's like Lyndon, he's really quality man. And she really keep throwing Lyndon in Tony's face, and part of it for me is giving, I'm going to use Lyndon to make you jealous, Tony. That's what I feel like, okay? I was going to say it kind of remind me of like the Sabrina, Demetrius, Tori thing, but not quite. Because Sabrina kept the upper hand at all times. And I'm not sure if Morgan's keeping the upper hand here. But she definitely is doing that. And now Lyndon, at first I was like, girl, Lyndon? Like, I never seen it for Lyndon from day one, especially that roommate situation. But then I was like, that Lyndon in his confession, I was like, something kind of cute about him in the face. It's the hair, though. Like, I don't like all that wild. I don't like all them wild hairstyles on men. I don't like that. Have a regular hairstyle for me. So, anyway, she was saying, like, talking about Tony about how he would give his energies everywhere. And he was saying how he, asking her, she ready to be because he has 2 kids. So asking her about being ready to be a stepmom. And he said in his confessionals he was impressed about Lyndon. And so she said, well, first of all, I'm ready for a partner. I said, good answer, girl. Because all these men be like, you ready to be the stepmama? Like, bye. She said she don't want to be nobody baby mama. She want a partner. And he's like, yeah, you deserve all that. And he's like, what makes you think you're ready? And she's like, I'm in a happy place right now. I feel ready. And that's the puzzle that's missing. And I think, Morgan deserves love. And I just don't think it's on the show. And it's showing with Tony. So anyway, Morgan says she's smitten with Tony, and she's trying to relax and giving him a hard time with, spreading his love around. But she like him. I don't know, girl. I don't know. So anyway, on the other side of town, we see it at the same time. We saw a date with Jonique. Hopefully I said her name right. And Mr. Blake. Now, when I saw these 2 together, I said, why are we on this date? Why are we on this date? Now, we know, and I don't mean this with no shade, but Blake and Jonique are from 2 different sides of the tracks, okay? And they have lived in 2 different worlds. Like, he's much older than her. He said he was telling her that he was in the military. He was a police officer in the military. Then he was into some secret agent stuff. Then he do security for corporations, from physical security to cyber security. So like he's lived a whole world of life. Like he's lived a lot longer. He's older than her, obviously. He's been around the world more times than Jonique. And he was asking Jonique about what she does in her spare time. She said that you know, on the weekends she was hanging out with family friends, drinking, dancing, partying. He's like, oh yeah, I feel it. And then she's asking about his date, and he's like, well, the floor is yours. This is your date. Like, he act like he doing somebody a favor for giving them a date, and I don't like that. And he definitely was giving like better than Jonique vibes, and I didn't like that either. You know, Jonique, you know, she's a little bit of a roundaway girl, but I don't want to prejudge her either. I feel like we all prejudged her. And so, and I like Jonique. I actually like Jonique too. So I just didn't like that they were even on a date together, because it's like, we know there's no interest there. Like, that was so production made. And I just don't feel like that was right. And he just was so awkward. He was awkward with her the way he was awkward with Z. If Blake don't like a girl, he don't give a bunch of energy. And Jefri said that. So that's why I believe Jefri on that part. So anyway, that was like such a waste of time in my opinion. Blake said that, you know, they're two different parts of life, but he wishes her the best. And they are. They're not. That wouldn't even make sense. Unless he want to be like a sugar daddy. Hey, but like, anyway. But John, I mean, I don't know Jonique looking for a sugar daddy, but who knows. So then we get down to the church for deliberations. And so all the girls meet up with nephew Tommy. They're talking about how tensions are high because they're home, you know, the connections are getting a little more serious. So, you know, nephew Tommy's asking about the boat ride and the connections with the men. Sue-Ann likes Anthony. They do, I forgot the name of the dance. He was teaching her on the boat, but it was real sensual, and she enjoyed that. Jefri likes Mark Anthony. She feels like he really, you know, gets into her and really figures out what's going on and dives deep with her. So she likes that. I can't remember if she said she liked Blue or somebody else. And then Sue-Ann mentioned Blake and maybe Mark Anthony. Mercedes, she mentioned Mark Anthony and Anthony as well. Cynthia talked about her date with Anthony, how they, you know, they're both Haitian, they both hit it off. She's like, that man right there, you know, Cynthia was going off about Anthony. She really was. Then we have Miss Morgan. She likes Tony and Lyndon. Easy answer for her. And then Marcia, she likes Blue. She's really into Blue. And then I think that was pretty much it. So then who they not feeling? So a lot of the girls are not feeling Blake. Mercedes says she gets him, but she, you know, she ain't vibing with him like that. Janique talked about her awkward date with Blake. She ain't feeling him like that. Let's see. Then I think Marcia also had an issue with Blake, and then the whole Blake issue came out. Well, first we talked about Demario, because Jefri was talking about the issue with Demario and how he brought up her kids and all that good stuff. And so I think Sue-Ann had interjected at that point too, because she was like, well, you were saying you was giving him different energy last week. And I'm like, Sue-Ann, like, why is you butting in, girl? Now, why are you butting in every time Jefri talk? Like, it's giving, you're doing too much. Like, it's giving a little bit of advocate too, I ain't gonna lie. So then, you know, Jefri was explaining the whole thing with Demario and how he was, you know, not happy with her kissing Mark Anthony and all that stuff. And some of the other ladies were not feeling Demario either. They felt like he kind of was only making one connection with Covea, and after that, he hasn't been the same. Like, he hasn't really been trying to connect with the other ladies. And then the whole issue with Blake came up, and Jefri, you know, said that, you know, her and Blake had issues. She's not feeling him anymore. And then again, Sue-Ann was piping up again. And so Jefri in the confessional was calling her. She's like, every time I'm talking about one of the men, she's just, you know, she's like an advocate. She's putting her lawyer hat on. I'm going to call her Advocate Sue. And so then she was like, so then basically Jefri and Sue-Ann got into it a little bit. And all the girls was taking it back like, what's going on? Because Sue-Ann was interjecting. She was really like riding for the men a little bit too much. It's giving a little bit of pick me, sure, as y'all like to say. So, I didn't like it. Like, Sue-Ann seems like a nice girl. I just need her to little pipe down. Wait till she'll turn, girl. Like, you don't need to advocate for the men. And if Jefri is being foul, like, let her hang herself. Like, it's fine. Now, don't get me wrong, Jefri a little weird to me too. But like, Sue-Ann, you doing too much, girl. So, basically up for elimination is going to be Blake and Demario, right? So For the elimination dates, we have Janique taking Demario on a date, and then we had Cynthia taking Blake on a date. And so both men are excited to see these ladies, but Blake kind of remembered this elimination week, right? And so he was asking Cynthia, you know, how do you feel about me and your connection so far and all this stuff. She's like, well, I like you, like I understand you thus far, but however, like the ladies met up, you know, and a lot of ladies are not feeling you. They feel like you could be hurtful with your words, the way you put things, you could be harsh, and they don't really like that. And she kind of touched on the Jefri situation without saying it. But I like the way that Cynthia communicates. It's very clear. I like the and she's concise. I like the way she put her words together. So she was basically saying, like, you know, the ladies are feeling this type of way about you. And so he first was kind of having a hard time taking feedback. He like, am I get eliminated or not? But ultimately she told him, you're ready for love. You know, she said, you know, if there's something going on, she told him how to basically clear it up with the ladies and let that be that. And so he said this was the best conversation he's had, like the best feedback and everything. And so then on the other side of town with Janique and Demario, and Demario's like, oh yeah, I feel like we had so much in common. Like Demario's was trying to stay on the show. And so she was like, oh, we got this little icebreaker date, like get rid of misconceptions. He's like, yeah, I definitely misjudged you and all this stuff. And so then she talked about how the ladies met up, and there's some, you know, we feel like you were focusing on one connection, and then after Covea left, like you haven't been really focusing on other things, and basically you not ready to love Demario. So Demario got sent home. He was shocked. I'm shocked that they kept Demario over Blake. Are y'all shocked about that? Like, why is Blake still on the show? This is like, ain't this like Blake's second or third time in the bottom? So why is he still here? Like, he's literally there for ratings. He's giving very much a Charisse. Anyway, that was it on Ready to Love. Hopefully the season gets better. Like, it's a good season as far as entertainment goes, but I don't know, something is just off about the season. I think they definitely need to revamp the show in some kind of way. I don't know. Maybe we need to start feeling the love connections more and seeing it more, because we're not getting enough of that maybe. But again, it's on episode 5, so of course I'm gonna give it a chance, y'all. If it's something I missed, please let me know in the comments, y'all. Y'all know it's been a rough week. Anyway, y'all, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I also did put my Love and Marriage DC video up, and I caught up, so I will hopefully get to talk about episode 3 with y'all tomorrow night. So catch up on that if you didn't already, y'all. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.